Dear Sam Levinson, whatever you're doing to Kat's character, you need to fix it.
Hey, sir!
Y'all already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck on.
So what is going on, y'all? I have been meaning to do a video about this, but I was honestly giving it a couple of days before I started to complain. But I've been noticing since the first episode of season 2 of Euphoria that Kat's character is not giving what it was supposed to give. It is not giving anything, to be honest. So I've been watching Euphoria, and Euphoria is one of my favorite shows. Sundays is one of my favorite, like it's the Super Bowl every Sunday for me. You got Demon Slayer, you got Attack on Titan, you got Euphoria, and Celebrity Big Brother. Like I love it. But as much as I've been in love with Euphoria, I'm not particularly fond of the treatment of Kat's storyline for season 2. And Kat is one of my favorite characters. Like the whole episode of her talking about toxic positivity and, you know, fighting all the foes who are just telling her like, hey girl, believe in yourself, da da da. That was everything. That is literally everything I've been telling my friends for the last couple of years. When it comes to toxic positivity, when it comes to thin people telling a fat person like, believe in yourself, girl, everything is like, girl, like it's not that easy. So I just knew in my heart that this was going to be a good season for Kat, but Kat has fallen back as a character. And I've just been like, what's going on? Like we're not getting that many scenes of Kat. We're not finding out like what's going on with her. Like why is she not, you know, what is her reason for not wanting to be in a relationship with this guy? I can't think of his name. And for reasons, I kind of saw it as her recognizing that this guy is good. Like he's a good guy. She should be in love with him. She should be happy with him. I saw it as Kat wrestling. I saw it as Kat wrestling with the fact that this person is really good for her. He's perfect on paper, da 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 da. And Kat being, you know, fat is not allowed to reject a perfect guy, essentially, like perfect on paper. Even though she's not turned on by him, she's just not moved by him. He's just not doing it for her. And she's not allowed to do that. She's supposed to take whatever she can because the world is seeing her as someone who is undesirable and somebody who, girl, you can't be picky like your other thin friends. You cannot be out here choosing everybody and discarding. Like you can't do that. Only I'm allowed to do that as a thin person and a person who's read as desirable. Like Kat hasn't, you know, isn't given that same grace or whatever. And now that I have done a little bit of research and done some kind of reading and stuff, I'm finding out that there's a story for why Kat hasn't been seen that much and why her recent you know, character that she's playing on Euphoria has taken like a background, like she's in the back now. And you know, the person who plays Kat is, I love her, Barbie Ferreira, if I'm pronouncing her name correctly. I love her energy. I just get good vibes from her. And I did see the rumor a little while back that her and the creator and writer of the show, Sam Levinson, bumped heads about Kat's you know, story. And I did hear that Sam was trying to write Kat as having an eating disorder, because if you remember from season 1, you know, she was eating when she was a child, when going out. She had went to some vacation to the Bahamas or something, I can't remember. She went somewhere, probably in Mexico or something, Cancun or something, with her family, and she had gained weight, which really didn't even make any sense because it's like, I don't see no child gaining that much weight on no vacation. But the stories are starting to make sense that maybe Sam was trying to say that she had the character Kat had an eating disorder, and that was the reason why she was fat. Now, the girls are saying that, you know, something happened. Like there was a report I was reading on BuzzFeed, and they were reporting, they can't confirm it, that they were hearing rumors also that Sam and Barbie like bumped heads about the writing about Kat, and that Barbie wasn't at the season 2 premiere party. And to be honest, white men are very, very fragile. I would not be surprised if Sam Levinson is responsible for that. I would not be surprised if they did bump heads and that's the reason. I'm really disappointed. If this is true, I'm really, really pissed off. I'm really, really angry, and I honestly think this might be my last season watching if this comes out to be true. Like, if I don't see any betterment or something, Sam Levinson needs to take his head out the sand. He needs to do whatever he needs to do. He needs to get his head out his ass, and he needs to get it together because I love Kat's character. Like, we don't even get that many fully fleshed out fat folks on screen. If they're not anything but the fat friend, fat person telling jokes or making everybody happy or being the mammy, or being the therapist for somebody or all the other stuff. This is why I wanted Kat's character. I felt like once again, I'm getting pissed, I'm getting frustrated because I already went through hell with Insecure and how they did Homegirl. Like how the lack of the storytelling for her, and now I'm thinking, okay, maybe these folks gonna do a better job with Kat. Maybe like let's see, because I was seeing some potential from season 1, but now watching season 2, I'm just like, what the hell is going on? This recent, for spoilers for people who've not seen season 2, episode 6 of Euphoria. Spoilers coming. I'm going to talk about what happened in episode 6. Kat is kind of just getting into it with her, it's kind of bubble over now of the situation with her and her boyfriend. She's breaking up with him, and she's saying that she has a brain disease, and that's the reason why she can't like continue on being in a relationship with him. And he's just like, no, like you just want to break up with me, and that's fine, but don't sit here and just lie. And it just like this doesn't even make sense for Kat's character. So the BuzzFeed is saying that from what they're hearing is that they had to scrap a lot of stuff for season 2. And Euphoria's main star, executive producer Zendaya confirmed that in a recent interview with The Cult, where she and her fellow leading ladies sat down to discuss the new season. There are very few things that remain in the version you're now seeing, Zendaya said, of the reworked script. The things that didn't make it definitely needed to die. And that to me sounds like a confirmation that maybe something did happen with Kat's character. Maybe something did happen. And while it remains unconfirmed whether or not Barbie's scenes were indeed cut from the script, the most recent episode has fans wondering if there could be some truth to the rumors. Like a lot of people were tweeting about it, and because it just didn't make sense. And honestly, I caught it from the second episode, and I was just like, Like I have a hunch, but I don't want to jump and say that this thing is happening without a confirmation or something. But being a fat person, seeing fat people on screen and how they're treated, it wasn't something where I would have been shocked if it was like the truth. Like I sometimes get in my head when it comes to talking about things like this because I can see it. The same thing that happened with the same thing happened with Angelica Ross's character on Pose and how Candy was, killed off. Like I felt like there was some colorism in play. Of course, colorism exists, anti-fatness exists, anti-blackness exists. We cannot, like if we think the whole world is that is the whole world. So when people say, well, no, there's no way to remove these things. Like they exist. So it's not surprising to me that this did happen. And honestly, I've been kind of like thinking about how Sam has been writing this because I'm like, girl, there's no dark-skinned people on this show. There's absolutely no dark-skinned people on this show. There's only one that's helping Lexi with her play. But there are essentially no dark-skinned folks on here. And every person that Rue is falling in love with is either light-skinned or non-black. Like, it's just, by nature, it's just like, I'm just seeing things and I'm just like, and y'all already know how I feel about the interracial agenda when it comes to Hollywood. Like, you never get a mainstream show with a black mother and a black father or two black queer folks or two black dark-skinned queer folks. You always get either a black mother and a white father or a white mother and a black father. You don't see that too much, but you always see that. So even this thing with Rue's mother and father, like I'm not really surprised because that is Hollywood. Like Hollywood is anti-black by definition, by design, it is anti-black. So yes, we might say, okay, well, we got a little black folk. We'll let a black mother in here, and we'll let a white. Well, we're gonna have to have a white dad. Like we're gonna have to have a white dad. And trust me, I'm seeing some what we might call progressive stuff going on, even with Bel Air, the new Fresh Prince, show. You have a whole dark-skinned cast, Love that, and I'm hearing good things from it so far, but I do not like the fat erasure that is happening with Uncle Phil. Like, Uncle Phil being fat was needed in this. Like, I need that. Because we don't see many fat characters, on screen fleshed out. Like, anti-fatness is so prevalent in our world, in our society, and I need people to know that it needs to change. It needs to get better. Like right now, there's this whole discussion on Twitter about this fat, light-skinned person who was like, I don't know, being a sugar daddy or something to a bunch of women and flirting with a bunch of women. And now the conversation, instead of like holding him accountable for like, lying to all these women and stuff, now it's just everybody making fun of him being fat and saying there's no way he was talking to all these like black women or all these beautiful black women because he was fat. And it's just like as if like they're not attractive, like beautiful black folks who are interested in fat folks. Like it's so by design, it's so depressing. And like I'm just naming so many things like that it comes with anti-fatness. And to come back to this point that I am very much disappointed that Kat's character is like being written like this. It's almost like what is going, not even talking about just Kat's character, but even the conversation with Jules. Like Jules said in a special that she was not interested in chasing the binary. She was not interested in being with cis men. She said she don't want to be with cis men. She said she don't. Now she done fell in love, essentially, or lusting after this cis man. Like, and I don't know, like, it's just, what's going on? And as talented as I think Sam Levinson is, as good as Euphoria is, he is a white cis man. And he is writing these stories based off of his perception of queerness and like these teenagers, which is questionable in itself because the excessive nudity in this show, especially when it comes to Cassie, makes absolutely no sense. And I know, I was like, why is Cassie, like every time we got to see this, nobody Cassie. Nobody, like, and even homegirl who plays Cassie on Euphoria had pulled Sam to the side and said, hey girl, I don't need to be nude in this scene. And it's like, Sam, what's going on, girl? Like, you're clicking, but you're clicking down. And to be honest, if I had to take a shot every time I seen a white on this TV watching this show, I would be at Grady. Like I would be at Grady, like with something in my arm, like, oh my gosh. And you can see there's a way to do nudity. Like, y'all had the Zendaya was getting naked. Y'all had the camera out of focus and everything when she got in the tub the last episode. So why is this excessive nudity? Like, how is this moving the plot forward? How is all this nudity moving the plot forward? Make it make sense for me. It's pissing me off. Like, it's so irritating. But like mainly what got me fired up is talking about, how Kat's character has been treated in this, and I want people to take a look. I want people to see what's going on because honestly, if this goes, like, the rumors are starting to sound like they're true. And I actually, and I encourage people to go and listen. I actually encourage people to go and read the article on BuzzFeed, and I'll put it up in the link for you all to see it in the bio for y'all to check it out, because something has got to be said about this, because this is actually not giving. And if y'all think I'm going to be watching season 3 with this trash, I won't be. But yeah, tell me what y'all think about it. Have you all noticed the difference in how Kat is being treated this season? Let me know in the comments, and until next time, I'll talk to y'all later on tonight. Bye.